Let's continue this conversation as the phase 4 battle commences and the Lok Sabha 2024 juggernaut running across this country in the largest election ever held in the history of the world moves on to its final phases. It is downhill from here. 50% of the seats have already voted. By the end of the day, 380 seats would have cast their votes and locked their results. The battle continues, but where is the pulse? How is it changing? It's the conversation, let's face it, for all of us. Every time we're having a meal, meeting friends, meeting people, what's going on? Because yes, there is a fundamental stakeholding, not only as voters, but remember, for people who are running businesses, for people who are making investment decisions, for people who have to worry about the fate of the stock markets, for people who are wondering stable government, unstable government, coalition, single party, or what is the ideological difference, what will be the policies, and who will be Prime Minister. If those stakes are still up in the air, this is the conversation we are all having. Let us now have it. Himanshu Bhatt with the broadcast with us, Gyanendra Mishra is with us, and Gautam Mukherjee is with us. Gautamji, let me come to you first of all. Here we are, sir, 280 seats are done, okay? By the end of the day, 380 seats more will be done. How do you think it's going this far?
Well, one curious thing is the numbers of voters are up, but the percentages are down. It is because there are more voters in this election than there were last time. But perhaps it's the heat, or perhaps, and this is the big if, is there a lack of enthusiasm for voting? Though the gap isn't very large, and it suggests that a certain degree of uncertainty does exist. Does it indicate that 400 plus is very unlikely now, but does it indicate in any way that the BJP may lose ground substantially? That doesn't seem to be the case, but 400 plus is probably not going to be.
Okay, all right. So Gautam Mukherjee, I have to ask you the obvious question, because traditional wisdom, which of course we have to throw into the dustbin very often, tells us that when people want change, it's when they come out in larger numbers. It's when they're upset with the current situation and they want the government out. That's when the voting percentage goes down. And when there are people voting pretty much for status quo, the voting percentage remains the same or goes. Now, you can argue this both ways. You can argue this, that is the BJP voters who are becoming lackadaisical because they think it's a foregone conclusion and they're not coming out. You can argue it the other way, that in fact is the opposition who sees no hope in coming out. So even if they have supporters, they're not interested. Which way do you think it is?
Well, in my understanding, it's probably the opposition that is disheartened, because despite many antics and many strategies, many plots, they don't seem to have caught hold of the actual nub of it. And there is no single issue or even three issues that are springing to mind when you say, okay, the opposition stands for this. What does seem to have happened, and it is almost universally condemned, is an opposition bid to return to hard left socialism. Now, that is not going to do the country with its momentum towards growing into the third largest power any good.
Okay, so let me pick on that point, because there are pivot points. Okay, I can strongly recall that one Manishankar Iyer sat down. There was a Congress plenary meeting going on the sidelines. He gave an innocuous sound bite to an agency, and he said, "Here's a chai wala. You should go to Gujarat to sell chai." Okay, and since then, in that election, the Congress party was unable to pick up the positivity and energy in the campaign. It just pivoted. It just felt like it fell apart at that point of time. So there are pivot points. Now, pivot points have happened in this election. Rahul Gandhi has chosen willfully not to contest Amethi. It's a pivot point because not about Amethi, it's the message that sends. A pivot point has happened in this election with increasing polarization taking place in the second, I would say third phases. It's not abnormal, ladies and gentlemen. Elections are polarized. They always have been, they will be for the near future. It is not unpredictable to say that the polarization increases after the south of India has voted. So these things happen. But do you see a pivot point in this election, Gautam Mukherjee, that we'll be looking back a month later and saying, okay, at that point of time, A, B, or C lost the plot, the tide turned against them?
Well, I think trying to go back to the 70s or the 50s is definitely, in my mind, totally misguided and is a pivot point that nobody wants. We must understand that there are over 400 million people in the middle class, and they will be very largely hit. The rich have options. They always have options. But in any case, it's very bad for the country. Now, as far as polarization goes, Rishabh, I think both sides have been pretty strident. What this will actually achieve on the ground, I don't know. Muslim quotas, blaming each other for communalization. Will this get votes on either side? In the case of BJP, it will probably consolidate the Hindu vote. In the case of the India Alliance and the Congress, they already have the Muslim vote, by and large, unless you want to speculate that some of the Pasmandas may be coming across to the BJP side.
Okay, so let me give another example. So one is a kind of vote, and let's take an anecdotal example of Ayodhya Ram Mandir. Okay, so one is a kind of vote where the party under whose rule the Ram Mandir has been built, big achievement. Let's not undercut it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a vote changer. We'll find out shortly. But the party says, look, we delivered a 500-year-old issue to completion in grand style. It's doing really well, no chaos, worked out well. For delivering it, vote for us. Then you see the conversation change. They say, look, not only vote for us because we delivered it, also vote for us because who knows, if a different government comes around, they might lock up that particular mandir. Now, this has been predicated by one person who has left the Congress, who says that, listen, I left because the gut reaction of the Congress leadership was to somehow undo or overturn the Supreme Court ruling. Do you think that these conversational pivot points are important, or is it just happenstance of election?
Well, it is a pretty sinister plot. And insofar as it goes, I'm sure the Hindu voter has taken due note and will do everything in his power not to let that happen. But with the persistent lower voting percentages, it remains to be seen just how motivated they are. Or is it the other side, as you said, that might be responsible for the lower voting?
Okay. Do you see the anomaly that Narendra Modi created? And the anomaly was that people across caste lines, pretty much across regional lines, nobody looked at him just as a Gujarati. He won a seat from Varanasi and swept UP. That the anomaly he created, especially in Uttar Pradesh, where there is a lot of loyalties towards certain clans and groups, a lot of loyalties of the Yadavs, for example, to ensure that a Yadav is the one who gets elected, that the anomaly that was created of getting people to vote across caste lines is going to continue? Or do you see a reversal, that there's some people who are going to be saying, no, listen, we've given Modi a chance, we've given the BJP a chance at state and center, now trying to go back to some of our roots?
Well, I think the more important thing is the Congress seems to have thrown the tribals, the Dalits, and the OBCs to the wolves. It's just talking Muslim, Muslim, Muslim non-stop. And to that extent, it is they who have abandoned a lot of people. I don't think Modi has, and the BJP is pretty inclusive. And no Muslim can complain of being left out for being a Muslim.
Okay. So where is the hinge point, Gautam Mukherjee? Is the hinge point halfway through the election still about Narendra Modi's delivery record, the promises that he's made about the Modi guarantee? Because now you have everybody's doing a guarantee. The Congress came out with a guarantee. Now you have Arvind Kejriwal saying, I've got a guarantee. Apparently, one of those guarantees is getting back all the land from China.
Absurd, isn't it? Kejriwal has the most vivid imagination of the lot. He is capable of getting up straight off the bed and saying bizarre things. And in a sense, he's been 50 days in jail. The minute he comes out, he starts saying things like that, which he has no control over or even a proper understanding of. It's like an ant threatening an elephant. It makes no sense at all. Yes, an ant can be a nuisance, but that's about it.
Okay. I know you don't want to do specific numbers, but let's get a gut reaction from you. And I'll start from the north and work my way to the south. Jammu and Kashmir, how do you think it's going? Jammu towards the BJP, maybe Kashmir still towards Omar?
Well, I don't know about towards the BJP, but those who are supported by the BJP are certainly not in cahoots with National Conference and PDP are likely to do.
Okay. Himachal, Uttarakhand, how do you think it's going? Does the BJP have enough to sweep those states, keep all the seats?
I think so.
Okay. Gujarat, most likely Modi keeps all 26?
Well, damn near. If not 26, then thereabouts.
Okay. A lot of people are saying Haryana has become a close contest. We've seen the chief minister change. Now, of course, the government is in limbo. Remember, Haryana votes in about 6 months' time. How do you think Haryana is going? A bit closer. Bhupinder Hooda did okay at the state level last time, but couldn't form a government.
Well, I think in Haryana, as far as the Lok Sabha goes, it will be a sweep for the BJP. As far as the assemblies coming up in 6 months, I think the BJP will have to work very hard.
Okay, so trouble in the assembly, but people will still vote for Modi. Punjab, very complex situation in Punjab because the Lok Sabha election is happening. The state election has been won by the Aam Aadmi Party. The former chief minister is now a member of the Congress, is now, of course, a part of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And we haven't seen what the Akalis are really up to. There is a avowed Khalistani who's contesting from one of the seats. How do you see Punjab turning out?
Well, Punjab is not going to go to the BJP. They've got a twisted mindset with regard to the BJP. I think it'll go the Congress way because they're getting pretty disillusioned with the Aam Aadmi Party and are probably worrying about their stability. When a party as a whole is accused of criminality, it could be banned.
Okay. So you're seeing trouble. So the corollary then says, you say that Congress in Punjab, not necessarily the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress have a deal in Delhi. They don't have a deal in Punjab. So let's come to the deal in Delhi. 7 out of 7 for the BJP last time around. They've changed 6 out of the 7 Lok Sabha MPs. The BJP, for some reason, has always struggled with its party structure for the past 35 years in Delhi. Do you see the possibility that the Aam Aadmi Party could sneak a couple of seats away?
Yes, I do. I think the BJP has always been lackluster in Delhi, and Aam Aadmi Party is going to get some degree of a sympathy vote and a loyalty vote from its its cohort.
So what's your overall assessment, sir? Do you think that the overall assessment is roughly status quo, down a few here, up a few there, but roughly status quo into 2019, or do you see a wild swing happening?
I think overall the BJP will get anywhere between 300 and 350. If they do very, very well along with the NDA, it could go to 380. But BJP by itself could be as low as 300 and as high as 350.
Okay, the BJP, I can tell you, would be more than happy with 300. The battle, ladies and gentlemen, is not necessarily for 543 seats. It is for 30 seats. It's the 30 seats that makes the difference between a thumping single-party majority and no single-party majority, where a government has to be cobbled together and therefore is diminished. Doesn't make a difference who's making it. Okay, thank you, Gautam Mukherjee, for joining us for a straight conversation on this. Let me rope in Himanshu Bhatt. Himanshu Bhatt, here we are, sir. Half the seats have voted. By the end of the day, for the fourth phase, we will be down 380 seats voting. Are you seeing some shift in trend? Something that we are picking up in the pulse, not just from the voter numbers, that seems to be indicating that the conversation is changing because the parties are sensing some sort of vote pattern change?
No, I don't think so. It will just go on this way. Every phase, there'll be a new issue. Every phase, there'll be a new issue. And if you carefully listen, the Prime Minister in every speech of his has been talking about 4 things. One is third largest economy. The second is the local state issue that concerns them. And then, thirdly, talking about they will not cast reservations, they will not give reservations based on caste. SC/ST reservations will not be given. Some way or other, he's been talking about that. And he's been talking all about development. So his narrative has been by and large
No,
constant.
they won't give reservations
But-
based on caste. No. Or reservations based on religion, you mean?
Yeah, specifically today itself he said. Today itself he said, in his 4 speeches in West Bengal, he was very categorical. He's been doing that, He's been doing that. That
No, but what is the
SC/ST
point,
reservations
Himanshu
will not
Bhattji?
go.
Because the subtlety on this is important, because reservation based on caste already exists up to 50%. Reservation on minority quotas is what the BJP says it won't do, but they say the caste reservation will continue.
It will continue. That is what they have been, giving that
Okay,
message.
so you meant
very
minority
loud and clear.
religion-based reservations. Okay.
Yes. On religion, they will not do that reservation stuff. He's been very categorical. And be it, any statement coming out from the other side, this has been that constant narrative.
Okay, so does it suit then, the polarization generally suits both sides. Okay, that's why
Yes.
both sides are happy to do it. So does it suit the BJP that the polarization is actually playing into their hands?
It is not polarization. I'll say counter polarization. Counter polarization is helping BJP to a very, very great extent. And that we have witnessed in the past, we will witness it again.
Of all and we've done the math on this, 320 crore beneficiary touch points, okay, of which Muslims have been beneficiaries also. We have more than enough anecdotal case studies where they've received a house, received a toilet, got a nalka, or are using UPI for their business, or got a Jan Dhan loan. Have any of those Muslims who have received the beneficients of the schemes necessarily, at least a small percentage of them, become believers and therefore become BJP voters, even though the BJP doesn't have a Muslim candidate?
Yes, they will. A very small percentage, yes, I do believe. Small percentage. But then majority of them will say, we will take all this, but still not vote for Modi.
Okay, so that will happen. Okay, now, okay, so let's do state by state. Let me reverse the order and begin with Bengal. How do you think Bengal is going? It went 50-50 advantage Mamta last time, okay? Big chunk of seats over there. Probably a swing state where the gains for the opposition or gains for the BJP are going to be decided. Is it status quo, maybe the BJP up 2 and Mamta down 2, or do you see it going one way or the other?
What I foresee is BJP going up to 24-25.
So up 6-7.
Up, yes, about 5 to 7 seats up.
Okay, Bihar, complicated. It's unpredictable because the alliances have shifted so much over the period of the past 5 years. Do you think the BJP and Nitish have got their game sorted in Bihar? That Nitish will get his 7 to 10, that Chirag will get his 4 to 5, and the BJP will win enough, and the RJD gets hardly anything with the Congress only 1 or 2?
I'll tell you something. Last time they got 39. And this time they are likely to get about 36 to 37. This is what is my estimate.
Okay, down a couple. Okay, down a couple as an alliance. Okay.
Yes.
Then the big ticket has to be Uttar Pradesh. Now, Mayawati's, what's happened? What happened to the 11 seats that Mayawati held? Okay. Are they a deciding factor going towards the direction of the BJP or going towards the direction of Akhilesh?
It's towards BJP. The reason for that, very simple. Whatever vote Mayawati takes up, in certain constituencies about 12 votes, certain constituencies about 14 vote or 18 vote, up to 18.
Out of 100, yes.
These are the basic voters of opposition. Anti-establishment votes of the rest. And this is what is going to go to Mayawati, which will result in a very, very simple victory for BJP in about 70 seats.
So Mayawati is just a disruptor. We're not expecting the BSP to win seats this time around.
BSP.
Okay, but she will disrupt a percentage of the votes for Akhilesh. Okay.
Yes.
Rahul Gandhi's decision not to fight from Amethi. Is it a factor? Akhilesh, we are told, was very keen that he come out and put a fight there. Is it a factor? Will it affect more seats beyond Amethi?
It will affect the entire UP. I would put it that way. The reason for that is the mindset that worked there. Despite your coalition partner telling you that give a fight, rally your forces, and then the entire Samajwadi forces across the UP would have been rallied. The transfer of vote, it doesn't happen simply. The voter of a particular party shifts to the other party only if he sees some gains. And he will see gain when he sees that leader also fighting. See, the way Akhilesh Yadav, despite not wanting to fight from Kannauj, had to fight and is fighting. Rahul Gandhi should have stayed with Amethi. Win or lose doesn't matter.
Okay, so there's an
Putting up a
impact
direct
beyond
performance.
Amethi because he chose not to fight. Okay, now whether that is a hinge point, and I suspect it is a hinge point. Okay,
Yes, it
That
is.
there is a
It
hinge
is.
point there because if you're thinking that does the opposition have a chance in forming the government? Okay, everybody's thinking that. Okay, some people are already pre-decided. The battle is for the people who are not pre-decided. Okay, and for them they have to make a judgment call that will these people then give us an alternative stable government. And if you say that I'm not willing to fight, it doesn't leave a great impression. But a judgment call has been taken. Either it's great strategy, or we look back and there'll be another commission report that says it didn't work out, or it could go the other way. Okay, let's look at the South in overall. Are you suspecting that the BJP is looking more than just gaining a little bit, 2-3% vote share in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and potentially even winning seats in these states?
I'll tell you very frankly, I still do believe and I firmly believe Kerala, they're going to win 2 seats. 2 seats, they are going to win. Their vote share is going to go up from 12% to about 17-18%. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, BJP with 3.66% vote share last time around will go, BJP alone, I'm talking about, will go alone somewhere about 15 to 16%.
That'd be a huge jump.
And
15
with
to
their
16%
alliances,
means
about 24-25%.
okay. So do you see seats converting in Tamil Nadu for the BJP?
Yes,
Maybe for
about 6
Annamalai and
seats.
Coimbatore.
About 6 seats.
6 would be
No, not BJP, BJP and its allies.
and its allies. Okay.
Yes.
So the BJP is of course hoping that it wins at least a couple. It would
BJP will win about
seriously
2 or
looking
3
to win.
seats.
Yeah,
3
looking
seats
to
I'm
win
looking.
Coimbatore. Chennai is going to be a lot more difficult for the BJP, but they're looking to win Coimbatore. Puducherry, they'll be hoping to take again. So that's an interesting one. Okay, now let's look at Maharashtra for a second, Himanshuji. Again, highly confusing because honestly, I can tell you this. In a battle between Supriya Sule and Sunetra Pawar, even Sunetra Pawar and Supriya Sule don't know how it's gone. Okay, and they've held the pulse of that seat forever. So in this complex situation, is it totally unpredictable? Do we have no clue really what's happening in Maharashtra?
I will say it this way. I'll put it this way. The Battle of Baramati will have a larger impact on the total number of seats, which side wins what. Suppose Supriya Sule comes out winner, which I very much doubt. The reason for that is the local dynamics there of the local Vidhan Sabha constituencies is something very, very against her. In that case, what I foresee is, and with Uddhav's people putting their foot on in their mouth every day, and Congress already depleted with leaders, no leaders there. The last one, Sanjay Nirupam left, is also gone. So what we are going to foresee there is, it's only the traditional vote of Congress and Shiva Sena.
But there is a traditional vote. We were discussing this a few days ago. Even in Gandhinagar, okay, which the Congress has lost since 1989. They have never won.
Will come
okay,
then.
They still have 20% vote the Congress gets. Okay,
Yes,
so there is a voter that just keeps voting for that party. Maybe it's an older voter. I don't know who have always voted for one particular party. So does Uddhav Thackeray still have that traditional voter? Does he win seats this time, or does he get wiped out?
He will most likely get wiped out with couple of seats. Yes, here and there he'll win couple of two or three seats. He will definitely win.
Okay.
Because there is a confusion. See, with Shiva Sena, both are calling themselves Shiva Sena in public. For a voter to go and vote, stamp their vote on Dhanushban is something, which will confuse them. This is where I find, if that is even there with NCP.
Okay, but has Eknath Shinde done enough? Has he done enough to convert votes? Because the votes were won primarily once again in the name of Bal Thackeray, not in the name of Eknath Shinde.
That is where I said Dhanushban. That is where I said it's Rishabh Dhanushban. Dhanushban is an original symbol of Shiva Sena. And a Shiva Sainik will always go and stand their
So
vote on Dhanushban.
so some people might, it just might be a technical
By
advantage.
technical mistake, they will go.
Okay, technical advantage. There has been one case study of an elderly gentleman very upset because he could not see a lotus symbol, primarily because it was a seat where Ajit Pawar's wife was contesting from,
Yes.
There was no BJP candidate, and he wanted to vote for the BJP. So one case study, one voter does not 100 crore election make. Okay, I'm short of time, but I wanted to pick your mind on the battle now building up in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal is out there. Okay, only a naive person will say that he's not a force. Only a naive person will say that, look, his going to jail has not energized his base. Some people might have felt that, believed into the corruption, but certainly his base is going to be energized. Do you think he has a chance? Couple of seats in Delhi.
I do believe he's a force. He's a force to reckon with, but I'm skeptical of giving a single seat to AAP. The reason for that is, if you see 2019 results, and the percentage of vote share across Delhi to AAP was just 18%. It can grow up to 28% still will not convert into seats in Delhi. Because Congress equally has 22% vote share, whereas BJP all put together had 56% vote shares.
But this time, this time they're not cutting each other's votes in Delhi.
No, it's been going on for 10 years. Whereas Vidhan Sabha, the voter is shifting to up. When it comes to Lok Sabha, when it comes to Modi's phase of Lok Sabha, they all go for that. That is what is going to work in Delhi. And I'll tell you very frankly, Delhi, there is going to be no different than the last time. That is what my understanding.
If the Aam Aadmi Party is unable to win a single seat in Delhi, that will be really bad news for the Aam Aadmi Party.
That is what is my feeling.
They will be deeply upset because then the initial sympathy wave, whatever there is a sympathy wave, okay? That is not converted. You're saying it won't convert. Okay, so let me reverse the question. Then are there going to be people who gave the Aam Aadmi Party a vote who are now a little bit worried because, the matter has been going on in courts for a long period of time and the courts have not really dismissed it as a conspiracy. So are there going to be few people who are now in two minds who otherwise would have voted in Aam Aadmi Party, in your opinion?
Yes, it will happen. A learned person who's been looking the court, it is interim bail. Okay. Court has very clearly said, we are not talking on the merits of the case.
Okay. Well, so quickly, Himanshu, but your overall picture now, as we wind up, what's your overall picture now after, 3 phases and the 4th phase concluding? Are we roughly where we were in 2019? Are you seeing a swing one way or the other?
No, I'm not seeing the total swing, but what I'm seeing is, in 2019, we were 303. Then I see a 10% increase for BJP.
Oh, so you can say 30 seats going up, because 30 seats going down is disaster. But 30 seats going up is where you see it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the conversation. It's an absorption of art right now. The political parties are up to it. I can tell you at this point of time, there are some places, even seats, which are very close, and the political parties don't want to make a judgment call on who's winning on some or losing. And some seats, the battle is already over. Indore, the battle is over. Surat, the battle is already over. The BJP has already been declared a winner in one seat. Indore will vote very shortly, and the contest is because the Congress party campaigner has decided not to contest. So it's Nota versus BJP, and Nota never wins. So even if the BJP gets one single vote, that candidate wins. So very interesting battles are going on. We're going to track them through the day right after this break. See us in a minute.